Analogy. An analogy is like comparing two things to help understand them better. It's like how a map is to finding your way around a new place. Just as a map helps you navigate unfamiliar roads, an analogy helps you navigate unfamiliar concepts by comparing them to something you already know. For example, hot, cold, day, night. Hot is to cold as day is to night. Reading, mind, exercise, body. Reading is to mind as exercise is to body. Pen, paper, brush, canvas. Pen is to paper as brush is to canvas. Bird, nest, bee, hive. Bird is to nest as bee is to hive. Teacher, school, doctor, hospital. Teacher is to school as doctor is to hospital. These analogies compare relationships between different pairs of concepts to help illustrate their similarities or differences. Types of analogy. Analogies can be categorized into different types based on their relationships. Here are some common types of analogies. Synonym analogy. This type of analogy equates words with similar meanings. For example, obese, fat, slender, thin. Happy is to joyful as sad is to sorrowful. Antonym analogy. These analogies pair words with opposite meanings. For example, poverty, wealth, sickness, health. Hot is to cold as tall is to short. Part to whole analogy. In this type, the relationship between a part and its whole is compared. For example, battery, flashlight, hard drive, computer. Wheel is to car as leaf is to tree. Action to reaction analogy. This analogy compares actions to their respective reactions. For example, fatigue, yawning, itching, scratching. Laugh is to happiness as cry is to sadness. Object to function analogy. Here, the analogy relates an object to its purpose or function. For example, towel, dry, sponge, absorb. Spoon is to eating as hammer is to hammering. Characteristics analogy. This type of analogy compares the shared characteristics of two things. For example, graceful, swan, colorful, peacock. Brave is to lion as wise is to owl. Source to product analogy. This type of analogy compares the relationship between something that produces or provides something else and the resulting product. For example, sugarcane, sugar, cocoa bean, chocolate. Tree is to wood as cow is to milk. User to tool analogy. This type of analogy compares the relationship between a person who uses a tool and the tool itself. For example, programmer, computer, mechanic, wrench. Chef is to knife as painter is to brush. General to specific analogy. This is a concept where a broad or general idea is followed by more detailed or specific examples or instances. This pattern illustrates the progression from a broad concept to a narrower, more specific one. For example, cloth, shirt, plant, rose. Animal is to dog as fruit is to apple. Person to situation analogy. This concept relates a person to a particular situation he or she may encounter or be associated with. For example, artist, studio, writer, library. Doctor is to hospital as teacher is to school. Understanding these types can help to identify and create analogies effectively. Idiomatic analogies. Only for reading. Idiomatic analogies are expressions or phrases in language that convey a particular meaning beyond the literal interpretation of the words used. They often involve comparisons or associations between different concepts, situations, or objects. These analogies are idiomatic because their meaning is not directly derived from the individual words but rather from the collective understanding of the phrase within a specific language or culture. Idiomatic analogies can add depth, color, and nuance to communication, allowing speakers to convey complex ideas or emotions in a concise and memorable manner. Look at some examples. Each analogy below makes a comparison between two things. Finding a good man is like finding a needle in a haystack, a hard and tedious task. Use in sentence. Trying to find a good boss in an office is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, nearly impossible. That's as useful as rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. It looks like you're doing something helpful, but really it will make no difference in the end. Use in sentence. His attempts to fix the outdated software were as useful as rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Explaining a joke is like dissecting a frog. You understand it better, but the frog dies in the process. Sometimes it's better not to know too much. Use in sentence. His explanation of the plot of the movie was as unnecessary as dissecting a frog in biology class. That movie was a roller coaster ride of emotions. While you're not flying through the air, the twists, turns and surprises of a movie plot can leave you feeling like you've been through quite an experience. Use in sentence. After watching the movie, I felt like I had been on a roller coaster ride of emotions. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you are going to get. It signifies the unpredictability of life and how each experience is like a surprise, much like picking a chocolate from a box without knowing its flavor beforehand. Use in sentence. Life is like a box of chocolates, full of surprises and unexpected flavors at every turn.